Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be featuring Tier 10 Mercenary Tank Destroyer Ruthless. This tank was available as Ultimate Season Pass reward for last season. So you see these tanks pretty often here and there, just because it was pretty cheap for a Tier 10 tank, essentially free, as you could get it for 4,000. And it also has a very high alpha, which make it enjoyable for newer players, because they can outtrade anyone, as well as it has Hash's premium, so you don't even need to aim at a weak spot to do damage. So I'm at Cliff, go to D2 for some early punish. Our Vanguard has taken a very effective position at E0. He's bushed up, so he could easily outspot anyone, especially when they fire. This E3 decided to cross. He thought he can make that across and get in cover, but he was not that lucky, and my first shot high rolled, super high rolled for 1325 out to the side of E3, and he's as good as dead, because if you get that much if you lose that much HP at the beginning of the battle, you probably has lost all your morale or motivation to play the game. I am now rotating to the 2 line, as we have a lot of tanks on the 1 line, and so that I can get a different angle to get shots, as I don't have to worry about spotting anyone, as our Vanguard is doing a terrific job for that. I try to come to E2, and I'm pretty confident that I will not get spotted. They do have a 277 at H1, but with the TD Camo Net bonus as well as my Camo Crew setup, I was pretty confident that I should be able to play this corner and not outspot, but they won't be able to spot me despite them being the tier 10. 277 peaked, managed to put a shot on him, and then with 2 shots I'm at 2500 damage. And that's the thing about these tanks, right? It's not OP, because all the characteristics of this tank is worse than the Death Star and FV, but just that alpha just makes it super toxic. Yeah, put another shot in 277, and that's all it took to send him back to the garage. Not a very fun experience for him, especially because I was just 3 square blocks away from him and he wasn't able to spot me, and I managed to pen him twice, and then got back in cover before he had a chance to fire. And this just doesn't make a fun experience when you're facing Tank Destroyer with such a high alpha. I did make a mistake here, as I was not reloaded and I peeked, took 2 shots. I was just greedy to get a shot into that stirve. And this is something I do more often than not, and should definitely work on it, as there's no point of peeking when you're on reload. Our team tried to take the bull, however they're getting punished. But our light tank has also moved forward into a more aggressive position, so that he can outspot the tanks that are even sitting further back, waiting for them to fire. Yep, and looks like Vanguard activated the food, or ELC, spotted both Scorpion G and AVRE, and I did manage to put a good shot on the side of AVRE. It low rolled this time though by 200. Probably he's running the equipment or perk or both to reduce damage rolls. So 5 shots and 5600 damage. 80-60 got spotted. He didn't move. He was too focused to finish SP2, and allowed me to fully aim in and guarantee that pen. And now I'm at 6600 damage. I haven't done 10k in this tank before, but considering how the game was going, I was thinking I might have a chance to achieve that target this game. I thought the game would be more one-sided, considering their team didn't really have mid control and they only have 1 heavy, but that heavy managed to survive way longer than that. Once I felt confident, especially since how aggressive the Vanguard was, that I can make a cross safely, I managed to took control of the bull, so that I can move into a more powerful position, which is F2. Very good position, and you could essentially spot their spawn, get a lot of assist, but you have to make sure you have the hill control at E7 or the mid control at E6. Their heavy tank is still holding the middle, and he only had 2 HP. I didn't really want to waste a shot into him, but I had to kill him. But luckily our Super Conqueror finished him off, and I could keep my shell loaded. As I said, it has a very long reload, even 5 seconds longer than Death Star or 4005. Managed to get to E2 spot, use the bushes, didn't even get spotted, and put a shell into the side of chisel. 7 shots, 7,800 damage. And for most of the time, I wasn't even spotted when I was trying to take the shot, except that Sturv. There was a bad play on my part. And that's, as I said, I just can't stress that enough, that it's just not fun experience when you're facing one of these tanks that you can't spot. Like, it doesn't have the greatest camo to begin with, but if you play it right, you can outspot most tanks, especially heavies. And if in case of Chisel, someone else was spotting him, so I used the bushes to get in cover. He didn't spot me the first time, but he did spot me the second time. And another thing, since this tank has premium, you don't really need to aim. And when Wargaming give these high alpha hash tanks away for 4,000 gold, you see a lot of them in battles, and it just ruins matchmaking. It's not a fun experience if you're in a light tank, not a fun experience if you're in medium, and definitely not a fun experience when you're in a heavy tank. Because heavy tanks are supposed to have good armor to brawl, but you can't really brawl against TDs, especially when they're hitting you for 1100 damage. And if you're sideways, they can even hit you for 1500 damage. And if they keep adding more and more high alpha tanks, the chances are there will be 2 or 3 in each game. It could be a Ruthless, could be a Death Star, FV, or AVRE. And your chances of getting one shot are very high. And again, it leads to not fun experience. So, this tank, in short, it's toxic, but not OP. I'm at 8600 damage and realized that I can't hit that mark. However, I couldn't make any other play except going for this T-54, as he was the only tank not being covered by anyone else. He does have a V5 behind him, but he was one shot, so I was confident if he's not going to peek. Also, I slowed down just before I peeked to make sure that he's not spotting me. AET was trying to shoot at me, but because I was the first time I got spotted on the lower side, he wasn't able to fully aim in time. I crossed the 9k mark, just 1k away or one shot away to hit the 10k damage. Both Tehran and Brask are healthy, however I can't be aggressive because all it would take is Tehran to hit me once and then Brask to hit me once, and I will be dead. So I had to be careful here not to get greedy, which I get and cost my game. I was looking at the HP that my team has. Both Centauro and Tiger 2 are one shot, so they're not going to push. I'm not really worried about ELC because he won't be able to do much damage as it doesn't have the gun. So VZ was the only one that could make the push here, and I could go with him and get that one last pen. Not even in position, get spotted probably by the Tehran, and he took out the Tiger 2. Since Tehran fired, I decided to take this opportunity to advance forward, but Brask was targeting me and decided to hold on for now. He put a shot in VZ and got back in cover. I was also worried that one of their tanks, Brask or Tehran, might just commit suicide. AT gets spotted. VZ put a shot in him, and then I finished him off. Kind of a waste of a shot for me, but I had to take him out because otherwise I couldn't make a cross. And AT-60 is also a very strong tank with very high DPM and camo. With 5 kills, VZ put a shot in Tehran and is now reloading. So if I can hit this Brask, I'll hit the mark. But right here I lost my gun depression, but I did get lucky and hit his turret because I wasn't able to look at his hull, and basically panicked while taking the shot and could have almost missed it, but this time RNG was in my favor and did got my 6th kill as well as crossed the 10k mark. Tehran is hiding on the lower side. I'm not really worried about taking a shot from him because he can't really kill me unless he MRX me, but still I didn't care as I've already got the 10k mark. But luckily he wasn't even paying attention, aimed, and got my 7th kill. All in all, a decent game, especially for something with that low DPM. But I didn't really do much. All I did was fire 10 shots. I wasn't even spotted while I was firing the shot, which allowed me to essentially hit the enemy for free, which is unfair, especially when you're hitting for that long or that high. If the alpha was like 500, it's one thing. If you're fixed turret, it's one thing. But this tank does have a 90-degree turret rotation as well as higher alpha, and I think Wargaming needs to stop adding these high alpha hashtags. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.